to hear this story right here. He might, we ain't bring him in the room yet, and he might leave. So let me hurry up and hit this button.
He don't even know what he signed up for.
Now, look, I want to do the things a little differently this time as far as our guests are concerned, because we need to spotlight the guests and put us on the little end. King Randall is here. King Randall is the founder of the ex-boys school, preparatory school. I know I jumbled it up a little bit, King. I apologize.
That's fine.
But I have been excited about this interview. The fact that this brother has been on the networks, and the fact that he gave us this time to speak to him about the great and amazing things that he's doing. Like I definitely want to just start off by saying thank you for that off the top. Definitely.
I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you.
No doubt. So I want to start from the very beginning. So are you born and raised you from Georgia originally?
Yes, sir. Born and raised in Albany, Georgia. Yes, sir.
Oh, so the hometown is where you made the first move. See that, and we
Absolutely.
were just talking about that. Starting at home.
Gotta start at home. We have so many people come through there that we have many different celebrities, Super Bowl, MVPs, and all that stuff come out of Albany, Georgia. Ray Charles, but everybody always leaves and never, try to fix the community. Albany is always something bad happening. We're on all the lists for something bad. It's all the time, but you would never know we had so many celebrities come out of the city of Albany, but everybody always leaves and never comes back to do anything. But that's the way it is.
But not you. You answered the call to service, and the call to service is a call that a lot of us hear it and we act like we don't, but you put it to jump right in front of it and took it on. So where did that spirit come from in you?
Absolutely. Well, where I live in Albany, Georgia, we were at one point the fourth poorest city in the whole United States. Right now we're number one for poverty in Georgia. We were also at one point the murder capital of the United States, and this small town is only 73,000 people. And for us to be leading in so many bad things, like even 48% of the people, almost half the people in Albany, Georgia, have high blood pressure. We're number 14 in the United States for hypertension. We don't have any grocery stores on our south side of the town, or our more impoverished side of the town have no grocery stores, but there's fast food everywhere. So our health is declining. Our school system is not adequately teaching our children how to read. So the kids are graduating illiterate. The school system will say, well, we have the number one graduation rate in the state. And I'm like, yeah, but the kids are graduating and can't even read a book or read and write. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we have a lot going on there. But, I just use that as fuel to go ahead and keep doing what I'm doing. Had many powers that be try to fight me in my city, but it's all good. We're still going to make things happen regardless. It just came from just seeing, what wasn't being done in the city of Albany and decided to do it for myself.
So how hard was it to kind of get the school going? Because I know, like you said, with all the negatives going on, and then for I guess the public school systems to boast about, well, we had this, and then for you to come along with your idea, I know they couldn't have made it easy for you.
Yeah, it was a little tough. I'll say originally, because we'll be opening the school in fall of 22, but we were actually supposed to be open right now. So we were actually originally buying a school from the local school system. It was an old building that they were about to demolish, but it wasn't in bad condition. They were just going to demolish it. They hadn't used it for maybe about 6 or 7 years. So I approached them about purchasing the building. They drug us through a 9-month process with trying to purchase that building from them. This was December of 2000 and I think it was 2020. It was December of 2020 when I reached out to them about buying the building. They drug us all the way through this year, trying to purchase that building. So finally we get a contract back to actually purchase the building. But in the fine print, it says that the only way we can purchase the building is if we allow them to teach the curriculum. And I'm just like, well, that defeats the purpose of us trying to open up our own school. And mind you, our whole school board is black, so that was a little annoying. I'm thinking they're going to be trying to get behind the program and, make it happen. And my main reason for trying to partner with them in the first place was because I didn't want it to seem like a competition type thing. I just wanted it to be, we all trying to make the kids be better. I was going to take some of their more kids that need more discipline and things like that. And we was going to have a little partnership. But when they tried to include that in the fine print and then, wouldn't get back with me and we were trying to figure it out, we just let it go. I went on I went on the news and talked about it, and they did this whole smear campaign in the local paper trying to make it seem like I was scamming people and stuff, but people didn't buy it because they like, King been doing work since he was a teenager with these kids. You can't give that to us. So but anyway, we purchased a 40,000 square foot facility, basketball gym, that whole nine. We have 3 other buildings that we purchased to go along with it for our resource centers and our boarding houses for the boys. And we also have 40 acres that we purchased for them back in March because we'll be growing our own food and teaching them how to live off the land. So that's all that we've done ever since that's happened. I just continue to work. I mean, I don't care what people try and do to hurt us. I mean, we believe in God and I believe in big boy faith. So we gonna have faith and we just gonna keep making it happen anyway. So I mean, it's hard sometimes for them to attack me because I'm only 22. So they be trying their hardest to find something. I'm like, ain't nothing to find. Like I sold a lollipop in 7th grade. That's about it.
King, let me tell you one thing. Me at 22 and you at 22.
Y'all not the same.
I am so ashamed of myself right now. Like it's so like you really like I see young brothers like you coming up and I'm like, damn, like I could have been doing so much more if I would have really just had the right frame of mind. You know what I'm saying? Mayberry, I heard that.
Wow, that's
and the fact that at 20, that's what I said. That call to service at 22, as a young brother, and most of our great leaders got that call at that young age, where that dedication and drive to just do it. And and you what happened?
Where do you get funding to buy schools?
Hold on, how many? Say that again.
Where do you get the funding for to buy these schools?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is my organization is completely people funded. We don't get no government grants. We don't get anything from any politicians. Nothing. It's completely people funded. People believe in our work so much. We've been seen across the whole world. We have international support. So people literally see what we do, and I'm so consistent with it that people just give. I have a big donor class that I created myself, literally, just by doing the work. I remember our first year. My second year doing our summer camp, I literally started funding this program on my own. I learned how to cut hair. I was fixing cars. I was painting houses. Me and my little brother would literally go around the city and fix people's cars and paint houses just to take the kids on field trips and stuff like that. I was getting no funding because I always wanted the program to be free, but nobody knew what we were doing. And the people in the city will always tell me, well, I'm too young to be trying to teach some boys how to be men, and I'm too young for this, and I need to learn something else or whatever. But that's always what everybody said. But I posted on Twitter one time back in 2020, and it went viral on there. And then from there, like, we've garnered so much support from all over the world. And then also back in March when I went on Roland Martin's show, and he didn't know who I was. He didn't vet me before I came on the show, and I told him what I was doing. He was trying to chastise me, and then that went viral, and Rihanna reached out. And yeah, I would say Rihanna reached out, John Cena, Stevie J. I mean, all these famous people reached out and stuff. But, for me, I just try to make sure we remain people funded. So we get funding, I mean, from so many people. Like, these are regular people that fund us. Like, we just raised money for renovations the other day. We raised $50,000 in 36 hours just from regular people. It was 440 people that helped us raise $50,000 like in 2 days. So,
and that's not what God has blessed. That's for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we just continue remaining consistent. We keep making sure people see where their money's going. So when we start renovations on our school, people are going to see the boys working on their own school. So we'll have contractors. The boys will be there learning the different trades. As the school's being worked on, we're going to take everybody through a journey with us. Like, everybody should be able to see this is everybody's project. This is everybody's school. Everybody put in on it. We have a big grand opening banquet for all of our donors, etc. And we're going to make sure everybody know that we appreciate them. And we thank them for all their support over the past 3 years. So it's just been beautiful. I mean, funding just comes from regular people, man.
That's what's up. Because we always talk about how we live in a world today where it's always about what's in it for me. Mm-hmm. Like, if I put my money up with you, what's in it for me? And to just have people just donate to help you get to where you're going without expecting anything in return, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. What's crazy is most of the letters. Yeah, most of the letters we get, like, in our mail, like, for donations, like, even our bigger donations, like, that'll be 5 or 6 figures. They'll literally say in in the description, like, please send a receipt for this donation, but we wish to remain anonymous. We don't want anything for this donation. This is just unrestricted. Please do what you need with it. That's literally every letter we get. Like, nobody ever says, hey, you got to say this or you got to do that. And the last time I was asked to do that, I declined it. And if you notice, right after the Roland Martin interview, I kind of started like shifting upward. Like, my popularity and stuff was like going crazy. But then all of a sudden, you notice me black out. Like, you never saw me again. I was offered 2 deals by the mainstream to sell my vision, and I said no. And then all of a sudden, everything started disappearing. So that's how that worked out. But God still made a way anyway.
Well, guess what? We're not going to let it get.
And one about the school. And one thing about that, I think you're doing it the right way, because it's a term called the prison pipeline. From the schools to the prison, and you are creating a system that will pause that prison pipeline. So when you are declining those deals, it's like putting, I guess, a stop on what they're actually trying to do to young black boys. Matter of fact, so I think that's great. My question to you is, I know you're not that far from Alabama, and you know how Alabama has their prison pipeline. And that's crazy. I read some stuff about their prison system, and they got young boys that's been in jail since they were 13 years old on petty charges, and because of their quote unquote system, they can't come out. So,
right.
My question to you: have Kwame Brown try to help you? Have you ever networked with Kwame Brown, because he does a lot in his community too, and I know he was doing some things in Georgia as well.
Yeah, Mr. Kwame, I was on his show probably about a month ago. He and I are pretty good friends. I can call him whenever I need to. He had some land in Brunswick, Georgia, and I have some in Albany, and we plan to do something join together, because he has tractors and stuff like that out there. So yeah, he and I we'll be working together soon. We were actually supposed to do an event this Saturday, but I had a family issue going on, so I wasn't able to make it to his event. But yeah, he and I are pretty close. I just did a show a month ago, and he and I met. I think back in September, it was the early September, we met in person, because he asked about me on one of his shows, and people were reaching out saying he was trying to get in contact with me. So we finally got in contact and we met. It was awesome. He's a great guy. So yeah,
great.
We definitely got a partner.
Definitely. And go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Your school, is there an age group or a grade level for the young men that attend?
Yeah, so let us know about the set, like how everything's going to be structured.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I'll be starting off doing 6th through 12th grade. And it'll be boarding, so the kids will be staying there. My main reason for that is because I believe 99% of the issues that they deal with, and that's just off of my experience, is their environment. And I have to kind of change their environments for them. Even when I take temporary custody of kids sometimes. So when I have these kids with me and they are like the most angelic kids, and then I send them back home and 2 days later they back into some BS. It's just their environments. These kids are not bad. It's just they're in bad environments. But I'm only doing 6th through 12th grade. We'll be teaching all the skilled trades, of course. Every child there will know a basic skilled trades. So like when I say basic, they'll know how to change a ceiling fan and change brakes and change oil or whatever. But for those kids who may want to dig into that trade, then we'll make sure, that they go. We have a pathway set up for them to be able to go to college for that. We have partnerships with local automotive repair shops, etc., who will be taking these kids, giving them internships, etc. I've had people come teach them how to weld. I've had people teach them firearms training. I mean, I've had people come and teach them a plethora of different things, but also we're going to be doing STEM too, and teaching the basic subjects as well. And we want to make sure those kids who may not be into skilled trades, may need to go to college and want to be a doctor or whatever, we want to make sure we set them up for that as well. We have a partnership with our local college, Albany Technical College. They do dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is where you're able to go to college and high school at the same time. This is how I was able to get my degree before I graduated high school. So, and it was free. The state will pay for it. So all the kids that come to our school will be mandatory dual enrollment. They have to go to college while they're in high school because it's way easier taking those college classes than it is in high school. When I started taking those college classes and I realized how easy it was, it was mind blowing to me why everybody wasn't doing it. And it was free. So I got a free degree, out of high school. And I think that's important. So all the kids will be doing that. We want to make sure we set kids up for any and everything that they can possibly do. Robotics. We'll be doing sports, and I'll be introducing other sports at our school as well, because we only kind of push those main sports to our kids. But I'm like, man, it's people out here getting paid to play all types of sports. It's over 800 sports in the world, while we keep pushing 5 or 6 to our kids, especially these head impact sports that are kind of detrimental to their brains as a youth. So my main thing is, like, even ping pong. I mean, ping pong players on average make $140,000 a year. That's the average player. So imagine a good one. I'm like, so I was like, ping pong players make 6
Why
figures.
Cooley looking for his paddle? Why he looking for his paddle?
You're right.
Yeah, but we just want to introduce like a whole bunch of different things to the kids. And right now, since we've been introducing so many different things, like they just built a computer, they built a gaming computer like maybe 2 months ago. And they just enjoy it. They don't know what they enjoy. Like even for Thanksgiving, I'm a country boy, so I grew up, harvesting chickens and turkeys and growing my own food and stuff. So we taught them that for over the past 3 weeks. We taught them how to grow their own food. This is for Thanksgiving. We taught them how to grow their own food. They went and picked out the turkeys that they were going to harvest. We harvested those turkeys. We taught them how to harvest them, taught them how to pluck them, taught them how to, gut them, things like that. They cooked them and they fed them to their families. And one of the lessons that, we taught them, with the boys, because we had a big family dinner and their moms got to eat, the turkeys that they got to harvest or whatever. And it felt good for them because they got to see like their family eat something that they prepared. And everything that they ate that day was, from the garden. So, but one of the lessons they had to learn at the end was we purposely made all the boys fix all their family's food first. We let them invite their whole family, like their moms, sisters, brothers, not just their mom, because we knew we were going to run out of food. We only let them have just enough food. And so one of the lessons was sometimes you got to work, make sure your family eat, and you may not get a whole lot. So it was a beautiful lesson for them to learn, because they only got to eat so much. Like, dang, I did all this work just for them to be able to eat. Yeah, that's how your dad feels sometimes. That's how it is. But sometimes you either got to make more food or work harder. So that was one of the lessons we learned. But it's a plethora of things that they'll be learning. Our curriculum, we're getting set up. We have multiple different superintendents that we'll be working with from across the country, multiple different teachers that'll be coming to assist us. So it's not just me. I know people are like, oh, how do you 22 years old know how to run a school? I don't. I have a whole team of people helping me figure it out. It's my vision, but it's people that are helping me along the way. I don't know everything. I have a big council of elders that help me with all the things that we're trying to do. So it's kind of basic idea of what we have going on.
So question.
What's up?
All right, I think everybody got questions. All right, let's go ahead. Mayberry didn't get a question in here. Go ahead, Mayberry.
Because NJ Rich, his question is, and my question are the same, and I want to know, because before you get off of here, this is really amazing. But is there a way for people to donate? Are you taking donations today? And if so, can you provide it to the audience so that we can make sure that Cooley and the gang and our family supports you, your family?
I appreciate it. Yeah, the website is right there on the screen. Looks like theextraboys.org. You can go there and you can go see all our pictures. I mean, everything we've ever done is on there. But also you can go there and see how to donate on the tab, theextraboys.org. And you'll see a tab that says donate. You can donate via PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or whatever. And we also have our mailing address there for those people who need their donations written off. We can send you a donation letter, and it'll show you, it'll be for your tax purposes, so you can write it off on your taxes. It's all tax deductible. But yeah, for people who want to donate, please go to theextraboys.org. Mailing address is there for you to send physical donations. So if you have something that you want to send us, like books or whatever like that, not even just money. People send care packages for deodorant and all types of stuff. I mean, we get all types of packages all the time. So even if you don't have any money, I take those types of donations as well. And also, if people want to come donate their services, like they want to come teach the boys how to do something, feel free. Shoot us an email. And my assistant Alex, she'll get in contact with you, and we'll set up a workshop for the boys. I mean, whatever you want to come teach them, we'll make it happen for them, because I always want to, get them into learning whatever. So if you wanted to come donate your services, you want to come donate some books or whatever, let us know, and we'll make it happen.
So I have a question. So if somebody wants to send a care package, is there a special, with everything going on, like, do you suggest a certain way of like wrapping it or like sending it off?
Nah, I mean, most people just send it in a normal box. And I mean, people package it however they do it, and you know, as long as nothing ain't torn up or messed up, I mean, most people got to go
Or
common
have
sense.
used.
Don't be
Don't send
sending
a half.
used deodorant.
Yep.
Don't be sending used deodorant with underarm hairs on there, y'all. Come on, let's
Oh,
have some
no.
class.
Right.
So, so
Oh,
therefore,
who is-
my question is, you I can't pronounce his first name, but his last name is Faraday, and I read his philosophy. I forgot his first name is kind of hard for me to say. I pray old Faraday, but he teaches that his philosophy is, and you're doing it. If you have troubled kids or kids that are in an urban environment, you take them out and then you train them, and then well, you take them away from the oppressor, and the oppressor is the urban community where they're struggling at, and then you put them into your environment and you train them, and then and then once you have them, you know, following what you are providing, you then, you know, put the kids back in their environment, and then, you know, they meet the oppressor, meaning that they go back to the oppressor, and then they learn from what, you know, they learn from the troubles that they went through by conversation and things like that. So my question to you is that you are providing, you know, a structured school system for kids. So are you planning on going back in the community and try to reach their parents as well?
Right.
After the
So
fact.
one of my biggest things, you know, one of my biggest troubles that I had was trying to figure out how could I get teaching for their moms, in particular, while I'm teaching the boys, because sometimes I be taught the boys so much stuff, but then they go home and unlearn all the things
Right.
that we've taught them because of what mom doesn't know or what dad doesn't know or what whoever's raising them doesn't know. So I actually am partnering with a single mothers ministry here in Atlanta. Well, I'm in Atlanta right now. But they have a program where they teach moms business, teach them how to write books, teach them parenting skills, etc. So it's not just me by myself, you know, trying to work with their kids, but they're actually, you know, teaching their parents as well. And these courses, they give them grocery blessings and everything to help them with groceries and stuff, but they have to do these courses. But also, one of the requirements for our school to remain free for you is for you to have to take certain classes to be able to, you know, for your kids to come to the school. You have to take these classes. It'll be free. You don't have to pay any money, etc. All you got to do is take these classes for your kids to attend. That'd be business classes, how to, you know, start your own network, whatever. You got to take some type of business class. You got to be, you know, helping yourself in some way. And that's what I believe in. So definitely, you know, teaching their parents is a whole nother thing as well, because the habits that we have, the kids, you know, developing, even with just having them waking up at a certain time of the day, brushing their teeth, taking a bath, etc. I mean, it's so many habits that I learned while I was in the Marine Corps that I still have to this day because we had to do it every day at a certain time for 3 months straight. Man, you talk about doing this for years at a time, and even taking their phones away. I believe that's a big issue as well. I have people up and down about that, and I'm just like, no, these kids' phones are going to go bye-bye when they come to my school, and I mean completely bye-bye. I don't want to see them at all. They'll probably have them once a week to talk to their mom or whatever like that, maybe for an hour. They can earn phone privileges, but for the most part, they won't have their phones. It's so bad. I mean, these kids are exposed to so much on these phones, and people are just like, well, you just should have better parents and things like that. I'm like, that's just not it. You got kids with the best parents, you know, but they're still being exposed to so much on social media because I don't think a kid even needs a smartphone until they turn 16, 17. I mean, all you need to do is call mama and say, hey, and bye. You know, that's what I think.
You know what?
You know,
It's like the thing that got me with the phones, as far as especially now, because we just moved to North Carolina like 4 years ago from Baltimore. But now with the schools, like my son, like everything is like all the communication with the teacher is through an app on the phone.
Yep.
They check your grades through the phone. Like, and I'm thinking to
man,
myself, like what the like.
it's so annoying. Like I do book club every Thursday with the boys, and this Thursday we'll be doing our Christmas party because it'll be the last book club of the year, and I'll be spending time with my family. But I do book club every Thursday. We read books every Thursday, and I remember when I first started that book club after the pandemic, and they were just like, man, they were like, we ain't picking up no pencil in so long. They were like, we don't even write no more. Everything is typing and stuff. But you should see how horribly they write. Like I got kids 16, 17 literally write like they in kindergarten, like they can barely write. I'm just like, y'all can't write or read, like this is ridiculous. Like, but these schools are just, it's annoying, you know. But we're gonna get back to, yeah, of course, Of course, we'll have like updated, like tablets and whatever, like for certain things. But for the most part, you're still gonna be writing. You're gonna learn how to write in cursive. All this stuff. You're gonna be learning a different language. All this stuff gonna be mandatory. Like every child there is gonna learn a second language. Period. And you're gonna have a track you gotta go down from 6th through 12th grade to learn a new language. All this stuff is important. It sets them up for success. But these little small things that I'm talking about doing at our school could be done anywhere. But of course, it's set up like this. And I also feel like boys and girls need to be taught separately. And I say that all the time, and so many studies that show that boys and girls learn better separately. Like separate schools always do better. And I always say, these boys have a hard time concentrating in class, etc. Especially talking about these little 11, 12-year-old kids, who hormones raging, who going through puberty, who all they do is see booty and titties on social media all day. And they get to school and see it, and all they want to do is, talk about sex. Like I go through their DMs and everything. All they do is talk about sex all day, sending pictures, everything. I encourage every parent watching this, go look through your child's phone, look through their DM. I promise you they send news. This is what they do. I'm telling you, like, I promise you this is what's happening. And they have so many apps to hide other apps. And like, there's no way to adequately monitor your child's phone unless you take it, period. And I have to be blunt with them. I'm telling you, your little nice little daughter you think is so sweet, and your son who you think you raising up to be the best gentleman is sending pictures. They is talking about nasty stuff, etc. I promise you that's what they're doing. But this is why I believe separate schooling is important. I mean, these kids, like the other day, my little brother came home. He's in high school now. He talking about the girl got caught on video, giving head in the stairwell and stuff, and these kids smoking weed in the bathrooms and stuff. I mean, this stuff is annoying, but nobody talks about this stuff on the news. I don't tell them what else is going on at school, and I knew what was going on at school. I'm 3-4 years removed from high school, so I knew what was going on, but nobody wants to talk about that. They only wait till something happened on the news and be like, oh, the school did this. I'm like, no, this stuff happening every day. Like, it's sad, but we got to create a new environment for them. And that's what I feel like has to happen. We have to create a new environment, better habits, better supervision as well. Because, I mean, these teachers can barely watch these kids, man. They need the teachers, they need like 2 paraprofessionals or 3. Because you got one teacher with 36 kids in the classroom, man. And they teaching them like 45 minutes at a time. I mean, it's all done purposely wrong. Like anybody can go to a school and see what's wrong with it. Like it's terrible. And I used to think that schools like you saw on TV that was like a jungle was like just on TV. Like no, it's schools right here in Atlanta that's literally operating like a complete jungle every day. Like, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But this is where we at, and this is where we got to create our own solutions.
I think the best word you said all night was structure. I know when I was raised in foster care, we couldn't do certain things. And being a young adolescent, we thought we was being abused. But as I got older, I some of the things that I had to do, that I didn't want to do, I started doing it, as I became a man. And I think in today's world, like you said, we had technology and stuff. There's so many influences on our kids. We don't have, I was telling my coworkers, parents are not allowed to be impressionable on our kids anymore because of the social media and all the other stuff. And that breaks the structure. So, so you're providing a structure that, that the boys are definitely, the young men are definitely going to need as they get older and be able to provide and do things for their families. And when they have kids, they're going to inadvertently do the things that you're teaching them to their kids. So I think that's great. The best word you said was structure, because nowadays kids don't have structure anymore. So you're definitely correct.
Definitely.
Yeah, most boys
I know we're gonna have we got some questions in the room. I know Shannon got a question, and I know I don't want Alex to hurt me because we took all your time up. I'm trying to stay on the good path so I can get another interview. And
you fine, Alex. You mean to everybody? Well, I'm good.
No, she was good to me. I don't want no trouble. Like I emailed her, like she been on it, like any question, like she was on it. So I definitely shout out to Alex because
Oh yeah, Alex is great, but she be being mean sometimes.
You got a question?
Yeah, I had a question, and I'm actually was going to also bring in NJ's Rich question. So pretty much, my question was kind of going back to the school in itself. As far as you did hit on how that is free, but how does somebody go about enrolling? Like, what's the enrollment process or the selection process for your young men that attend your school? And is it only for kids in that community?
That's what I was
somebody
wondering,
from out of state go through the process to be enrolled? And then so that NJ Rich question doesn't get overlooked on the back end, he was asking, how do you guys deal with the boys with disability such as autism or ADHD?
Okay, awesome. All right, so for starters, that first question, what did you just ask me before the disability question?
Enrollment. Well, the enrollment.
Okay, enrollment. Yeah.
I want to send my boy,
All right.
to you. How would he
Okay,
go about getting enrolled, or could kids from out of state also be eligible for your school as well?
Okay, perfect. All right, so the school will be a ratio that probably 80 to 20, not 80, probably about 75 to 25%. So 75% of the boys will be from the Albany, Georgia area, but I'll take 25% of the children from out of state. I've had children that I've already boarded from Virginia, Texas, Ohio, etc. So I've had kids come from out of state literally just to come to the summer program. So that's how impactful the program is. So we'll definitely be taking kids from out of state. We'll probably open enrollment in April. Enrollment is not open yet. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to structure that, as well as the selection process for it, because I don't like to turn any child down, but I know eventually it's going to have to be to a structured point, how I'm accepting children. Also, with how we deal with children with disabilities and ADHD, I really, honestly, when I've dealt with those children, I literally treat them exactly the same as I do with all the other boys. So, and I also run into a lot of children who've been misdiagnosed with these diseases too. Because these schools get paid more for children with ADHD and autism or what have you. They get paid more for these students. And it's easier for them, a teacher to say, well, he got ADHD or he got a learning disability, because he may not want to sit down or may not learn the way she may be teaching or whatever. So he got to have a learning disability, or he just don't learn that way. But then also they make a mistake of telling these kids, oh, you got ADHD, you got autism. So I got kids be like, oh, I got ADHD, I can't do this. I'm like, no, you're going to sit your behind down and you're going to do it. And that's what you're going to do. And they just like a normal kid, So I have kids with mild autism. And I have to look at their parents' reviews and give them to you. Their parents will tell you how much these kids have developed just being under my care, and not being around the school system. Even kids with ADHD. I think, honestly, once we open our school up, what I want to do is, after a year of having students with these certain learning disabilities or whatever, I just want to get them reevaluated after a year to see if these children actually have these disabilities or they just not good in the school system. And that's something that we have to understand, because there's like no actual test or blood sample that they can take to tell you whether you got ADHD or not. It's just an opinion, So every kid that I've had, who had ADHD or whatever like that, they're just fine. I have no issues out of them. They do everything just like all the other boys do. They participate in all the activities. But that's simply because I create the environment where it's easy for boys to learn, because boys and girls learn differently. And so when you try to force a little boy to sit down and, do whatever like a girl all day, he's not going to operate, the same way. So I have to create an environment for boys where they're able to learn easier. And as far as the children who actually do have disabilities, of course, we have ways and people set up, to actually help them, because I may not be able to. We got to actually have certified people to help those students with their certain disabilities. But definitely we'll be making sure to take those kids, and we're going to try to incorporate them around all the normal kids as much as possible, because I never understood why you seclude them. I'm like, they need to be included. That makes no sense to separate them. I don't get it. But we'll definitely have a specialist around to help us with those kids. Also, we'll actually have all the kids will be doing mandatory therapy and counseling, all of them. Every child will go through some type of therapy, some type of counseling, to make sure that they're okay by the week, bi-weekly or whatever. They need to have some type of counseling, some type of therapy, so they can talk about their issues and just face whatever they may be going through. I've had kids deal with child molestation, being abused, being starved, etc. So these kids be needing therapy, and I can talk to them. I'm like, but y'all need like some real help, So, but this is what I deal with. So
you
definitely a learned behavior.
So dope. You are so dope. Like,
I appreciate it.
Everything about what you have already done and what you are going to do at such a young age.
I don't believe you 22.
For young
22.
Kudos.
I appreciate you.
Nobody on this panel at 22.
No.
Close.
Right.
I was having babies.
So
Yeah,
I just wanna say, but you know what? This is a direct reflection
Right.
of, like this young
It's coming to
black
Blacktopia.
man. Yeah, this young black man. It's like you a unicorn. Like they don't exist. Like
Generation Z.
no, but it just goes to show you that these type, that these type of people exist, and that he's literally taking on the responsibility that a lot of people wouldn't. I mean, this
Definitely.
isn't a walk in the
Definitely.
park. This is this takes a lot of time. Not only time, dedication. This takes love. This takes
I was gonna say
commitment.
that love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it takes love and
it's
commitment because
extremely tough.
sometimes that's what kids lack a lot of, and even in situations where they're growing up in these bad neighborhoods, kids want to feel love. They want to feel like somebody gives a damn about what their next chapter is going to be. Hold them accountable. Not let them get away with stuff just because. Leaning on a disability as a crutch. All of those things, you're challenging them for the better, which we are missing in our community. So I tip my hat and commend you because this is
Definitely.
blown away. I'm blown away.
Definitely.
I tell
At
people all the
23
time.
years old that you're doing something like this, it is amazing. So
I appreciate it. I tell people all the time. I tell people, I'm just a regular kid, who had father figures growing up. So I had my former stepdad, my current stepdad, the guy that stayed behind us, an older guy. He was a deacon at the church. Had a truck driver across the street who had a crackhead down the street and lived 3 doors down. All these people literally molded me into who I am today. My stepdad, we grew all of our food in the backyard. We had an acre of land, but we grew all of our food. We had dogs, we had chickens, we had got all our eggs from outside. We grew everything down to our seasoning. We grew our seasoning for our food, anything we wanted to eat. We went outside and picked. We had all type of fruit trees in the backyard. We learned how to fish. We learned how to hunt. Older guy behind me, he disciplined us, taught us how to cut grass. The crackhead down the street, if you go on my street right now, he passed away probably about 2 years ago. But if you go down my street right now on South Street in Albany, Georgia, all the mailboxes are brick mailboxes. The crackhead will build you a brick mailbox for $50. He was a brick mason, but he taught all of us how to build bricks, lay bricks and stuff. So we closed in people's garages and everything. But I learned so many life lessons from my granddad, etc. Like I just had men in my life. So, it's an anomaly, of course, because all that little village is missing, but I tell people all the time, this shouldn't be a surprise if you have men in your life. I know people try to minimize what a man means, to a boy nowadays, but we're going to challenge that. And we're going to show, that boys need their fathers. I was just in a community meeting a while back, and, I was saying boys need fathers, and I had said nothing about mothers, and they were like, oh, you're discounting the work of single moms. I'm like, why do we keep parading single motherhood around like it's supposed to be a goal or something? That's not the goal.
About that.
You should want to have balance, in your life. But they keep, parading single motherhood around like it's a award or something now. I'm like, no. I'm like, we need full structure. I said I would never tell a woman that that I could raise a girl just as good as she could. I can't because I'm not a woman. She needs both of us. So we have to challenge all these things that they keep putting out in the media right now, trying to divide our communities and stuff like that. So that's what I do. I'm just a regular kid, man. I'm a regular kid, that had father figures growing up. So you talk about people like Fred Hampton and Martin Luther King and all these people who started their workout so young. Fred Hampton was killed at 21 and he had done so much work already. So it shouldn't be an anomaly. We just we need fathers with their sons, and we need to start showcasing more fathers who are in their sons' lives, because there's so many of them. But you have so many people screaming that black fathers are deadbeats and black men this, and you got black women calling black men bullet bags on Twitter and stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous, but this is where we are, and we're gonna attack that. We're gonna keep teaching our boys and making something happen.
Let's go. Stand up, all black men.
Listen. You are tuned into the Cooley and the Gang show without, I don't even know, special, like, I don't even know. King Randall.
The King is here.
Exactly.
Founder of the X for Boys Life Preparatory School. Yes. I got it right that time, King. I'm
about to do some straight backs.
You got it right that time.
Yes, I was on it. Man.
Oh wow.
I like when I'm scrolling through social, and I found you through the whole Roland Martin interview.
Okay, understood.
Because I saw that I saw the interview, and I'm like, this brother's doing something like. we're not even gonna get it. He was
What's
Right.
crazy? That was my first time like ever getting out of my element. Like I never get angry or anything. Like I almost got angry for a second with him, and I calmed myself back down. But the moment that I did get angry was the moment that went viral. It was so funny. I was like, "Oh
but
my
you
goodness!"
held your ground. You held your ground. Now you might it didn't. You held your ground. Like
That's what he do. That's what Roland Martin do.
yeah, that's what
he
it was
do.
all
I
Yeah.
can't stand that. That's what he do.
But
That's what
we
he do.
if you want to donate, it's thexforboys.org.
Yes.
We posted it in the rooms. I'm going to continue to share it. I hope now that we kind of a little closer to Georgia, my wife has family in Atlanta. The next time I'm out that way, man, I would love to kind of come check things out. If I would,
Yes, shoot
and
Alex an
I'm not going to come
email.
empty-handed. We're going to bring some things. We're not going to come empty-handed.
That's fine.
We're not coming
Yeah.
empty-handed, but I definitely would love to check it out. And I've been trying to find something to do myself, like kind of just to get involved with. And man, this is awesome. And I definitely
shoot Alex an email. Make sure you tell her that I told you could come, because people be messaging all the time, talking out the side of their mouth. You should see the emails we get sometime though. But she has to be mean to people, so make sure you tell her that you talk to me, and then she'll arrange it. But man, the stuff people be saying in our emails be so funny.
Look, I feel like somebody now. Y'all heard that. Everybody heard that.
So if Alex doesn't believe it, just play that clip.
I'm gonna play that.
And Jay Rich says support sent from his family to yours. So we
Yeah,
already have some of our family, our Cool in the Gang family are right there sending support already.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Let you go. Is there anything that you did not get to touch on that you want to just let the people know?
No, I mean, I always say the same thing every time I get off of every show. We have a local hometown hero, rapper. His name is Cantrell. He always says it is one song called Way Back. He says, obstacles are optical illusions. They're not really there. Jump high anyway. Jump high just in case.
Wow.
Don't be trying to steal that when you say closing.
Exactly.
He gonna try to steal that one.
He's trying to remember it.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link to the actual song. It's a really dope song.
Send me, because we'll play it.
I'm about to put it. I'm putting it in the little chat thing now.
Thank you, sir. King Randall, founder of the X for Boys Life Preparatory School.
Love it.
Support this. Open enrollment starts in April.
Yep.
And I mean, this brother's doing an amazing thing. Go follow him at New Emerging King. I got that right too, right?
Yep. Yes,
I
sir.
wasn't even reading no paper. And look, if you follow us, you want to get to him, because I share everything. Like, I don't get on social media a lot, but I get alerts from certain people when they post things, and I just reshare them. So thank you, man. I definitely appreciate this. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your dedication. Everything. I can't say enough good things about you. And you got a whole crew right here behind you.
Yes.
And anytime you want to
I
come and
appreciate it.
scream at somebody and you need a platform, we are here for you anytime.
Can you email me everybody's social media handle so I can follow y'all? Because please email me that.
DJ Dynasty. I see that you follow some of my favorite people. David Hurst.
Can you come on now? Can you stop trying to pencil yourself in on the mark? Like, you put yourself on the program.
I will send you all that in the email. I will
awesome.
email Alex to thank her again and let her know that when we coming down that you said it's okay.
Got it. Awesome. All right. I just found Ms. Mayberry. He said DJ Dynasty.
I'm coming now.
Oh no, Jesus!
Oh my.
Jesus,
Lord have.
Okay, I found DJ Dynasty. Who's next?
Thank you.
Not NJ Rich made the obstacles. He already on it.
NJ Rich is already trying to take it out.
He's looking at the time.
Can we be professional and not? I don't want to say the other words, so this. Excuse me for saying that.
We are very professional. I think we did very well today. Like,
Yes, we did.
didn't we?
Not
Like
all of us. Not all of us.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Not all of us did a good job today.
We did for the interview. We might have been a little crazy in the beginning,
correct.
but we did this. We just gonna edit all the other stuff out and just leave King.
Please do.
So that means you're going to edit me out.
You still here?
My goodness.
No, but this was
So
great. Like,
This is a great dialogue. Very good.
yeah, and educational. Like,
Yes.
I 22. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's what I don't believe it though. I don't believe it.
Man, there was so many G strings in my face at 20. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, man, look, I got a little wisdom, but I'm still 22.
Don't make me feel too bad. I'm gonna make up for it.
We didn't have no wisdom at 22.
Understood. Yes, sir. You gotta have balance. Balance.
It wasn't no balance.
Only thing I don't smoke or drink, but women still look good.
They look even better when you're sober. I'm just gonna give you.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. King Randall, y'all.
All right.
Keep it hot like a pot of carrot, sweet as Mayberry. Question is she single? We'll find out when I call and I be.